Hi, my name is Wendylrob, and I am going to try out the first time of a hashtag. So I'm here to do the hashtag occult tea. I am kind of new to my channel, so I've been on YouTube a while, but I was doing fashion and makeup. And so, anyways, let me get into this because I think we're going to go over some of that stuff in here. I'm old school, so I put all the questions on paper. So be patient. Okay, so topic one, introduce yourself. So, like I said, I'm Wendy Robinson. I had a spiritual awakening about 4 or 5 years ago. I was raised in the church, Christianity, all of that, and had a lot of bad experiences and knew that there was something better for me, something more out there, and started exploring it. And I immediately recognized myself as a witch. Like, immediately. Like, it just was not even a question. It was like, you're a witch. Yes. And it was like a relief to say it out loud. Like, it felt good. That coming from where my background is, I was actually, during my spiritual awakening, I realized how bad my marriage was. I was in a 27-year marriage to an abusive husband. And I'll do another video on that and kind of go in depth of that. And I'll go in depth of my background and my Christianity too for you get later. Because I really feel like my testimony is part of my what I'm here for. But anyways, so just kind of give the basics here. I was living with my parents at the time because I divorced my husband and had to be removed from that household. They called the police on me because they said I was a witch and that I was, anyways, my father grabbed me by the throat, and it was just a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. So I had to get out of that house, and I didn't think I could do it on my own, and that's really why I hadn't left my husband in the first place. I was in fear. I lived in fear, a lot of fear. And I was a Christian all those years and still lived in deep, deep fear. And I didn't think I could do it on my own. And I got out of that, and within 4 months, I was living in my own house, providing my own shelter for my own head, with no one to help me, and I did it. And it's all thanks to being a witch and finding and discovering who I am in the occult and the beautifulness of it. I'm a tarot reader. I have a deep strength in divination. My powers mostly lie in a lot of sorcery. I do a lot of that kind of stuff. And I'm really deep into spending time with goddesses and gods. And recently I actually got into demonology and have been doing some of that. So it's been a really exciting journey and a great adventure. And I can't say how much more happy I am in my life and the amount of freedom that I have gained from this and the beautifulness of it all has been just so great, because I was raised my whole life like how dark witchcraft was and how terrible it was, and stay away from the occult, and you live in darkness, and so to find out that how much of a lie that was, wow, was just mind blowing. And I am never been happier. I've never been freer. I actually felt the chains that were bound around me fall off of me. That's how bound I was in fear. So, anyways, that was my introduction. Very long. I apologize. I'm a little long-winded person. It probably comes with my age. So, how long in the witchcraft space? So, about when I had the spiritual awakening. It was shortly thereafter that I found witchcraft. It was just almost immediately. And in fact, part of my awakening was that I was realizing I was a witch. I was still living with my husband at the time, and he started calling me a witch. And I was like, actually, I am. Actually, that's not a bad thing. And I realized that I actually am a witch. And yeah, and I own that. And I'm proud of that. And I grew more into that. So what practices and topics do you discuss primarily? So, how long witchcraft space on YouTube? Oh, I get it. So, this is very new for me. I just started on the witchcraft space. In fact, this is probably one of my first videos. So, I'm very, very new. So, on YouTube for witchcraft. And what practices and topics do you discuss primarily? So, my practices will be tarot readings and talking about healing. My testimony is a big one. I'm also very strong. My powers are in healing. My gifts, I guess it's the same instead of powers. My gifts are in healing. So I'll be talking about healing and things like that. And then witchy things, great witchy things that you can do with your practices, And I actually have a video already prepared about your aura and how to clear out your aura space and what that can do for you in your life. So there'll be things like that that I feel like I have some knowledge on. After years and years and years I'm 50 years old, so I feel like I have a lot of life experience to share with everyone. And I think that somebody had told me at one point that the age group that I'm in, that's kind of like where I'm at in my life, is that I want to share my wisdom, and that's so true. I have so much wisdom that I want to share, that I feel like I could give to people, and that's what I'm here for. So, okay, so topic 1, impact on community. What is my personal reasoning, inspiration behind sharing my practice online? So I think I kind of went over that already because I'm long-winded. I apologize. So it's just basically that I feel like I have a lot to give and share. What am I looking to achieve by participating? Do I seek to educate, learn, or connect? So all of that. I look to achieve more knowledge on my part. I feel like I have a lot to learn still, and I'm willing and able to learn, and I find that exciting to learn. But I also feel like I can educate on a lot of things too. And then I'm here to connect. I am looking for a bunch of witchy friends out there. I live in Oklahoma, and to say you're a witch here is in the Bible Belt. So it can be very disturbing to people. In fact, most of the time, or all the time, I wear this pentacle on my neck, and I get a lot of eyebrows raising. But I get a lot of witches out there that'll say, "Oh, I recognize," and "Oh, you're a witch too," and stuff. So I wear it for protection, but I also wear it because it helps people that are in the community that are like-minded to see me and to know that that I want to connect, that I would love to be a part of a coven or start a coven. I think that would be awesome. So. What am I looking, or let's see, next question. How do I believe social media as a whole has impacted the community? So I think it's done good and bad. Just like everything, though, social media has done good and bad in everything in life. But without social media, I wouldn't have found all the things that I have found and learned so quickly. But I feel like there's a lot of misinformation out there, too. So you should always, 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 always double check and triple check on what people are teaching you. Don't just take what they say and run with it. You should always look it up, speak to your spirits about it, find out if it resonates with you, and then dig into it deeper and make sure it's something that is true and that it is honest information, because I feel like there is a lot of misinformation out there too. So I feel like there's good and bad. How do I think social platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube have each impacted education, sharing information? So like with TikTok, I feel like they can get a little bit like what do you want to say? The videos are so short. I feel like you can't give the information that you really need to give, and I feel like the problem with online social media, and this all being online, is that some people, their practices can just be online, and they only watch videos and they never practice. And that's so huge, is to put your phone down and spend time meditating, spend time doing spells, seeing if they work for you, if they don't work, or if you like doing candle spells, or if you like doing, other things, or if you like doing sorcery, or if you don't like doing that, but finding out what you like and what your practice resonates with. Because there's so many different practices out there and so many different ways to do witchcraft that that I feel like it can get lost in just short videos. So but I feel like there still is a lot of education and sharing that is out there that's good. So don't feel like I'm just picking on that it's all bad, because I really feel like there's a lot of good out there. It's just finding the good and making sure you throw out what's not good, and making sure that you really do look those things up and make sure they do resonate with you and your spirit. It's very important. Okay. Is consuming witchcraft content becoming a substitute for practice? So I just kind of talked about that. But yes, I think there are some people that just consume and consume and consume videos, because it can get easy just to consume the videos. And because that's what videos are made for, is they create that, feeding that dopamine in our heads and our brains, and it can become addiction. I'm a former addict, or I am an addict, and I understand what an addiction can do to you and what an addict brain will do. And an addict brain likes to be fed that addiction, and videos and TV and YouTube and all of that is and can be an addiction. And it can cause you to just stay on there and just be fed and fed and fed and fed and fed and fed and fed. And you're never going and practicing it. It's not good to do that. You need to spend some time in your own practice. You'll not be able to hear what is being said to your spirit and to learn what's out there for you, because your spirits want to speak to you, your ancestors want to speak to you, but you're not going to be able to do that if you're always listening to a video. You have to shut things down. You have to be still and quiet for a certain period of time. And it takes time to learn to do that, because it's really hard, especially for us in this day and age, to sit still for a little bit and just be quiet. That's really hard. So it's part of that practice, is learning how to do that. Excuse me, my nose is a little runny. I have had a cold. So, it takes practice to do that. And so that's part of witchcraft, is a practice. That's part of which witchcraft is. It's a practice. It's practicing things. And it's learning things. The healings that you can heal in your soul and in your chakras and in your third eye and all of that takes place when you're doing your practice. And that's important. Okay. So topic 2, influencer authenticity. Out of what I share on social media, how much of it is staged versus reality? So I obviously haven't shared very much. This is my first real video. I kind of had my a video I put out. I think it was in November. It was when the chains of fear had broken off me, and I was just I felt incredible, and I had to make a video on it. I just couldn't hold myself still. So, but then I had some healing to do, and so I had to put the camera away. Because after those chains were broken, I had some time of exposure and rawness, and I had to heal. And so I did that, and I'm not completely healed. That will be something I probably do my whole life. But I feel like I'm healed enough now to be able to get back online and do some more videos. Um, so um, I obviously can't speak to whether they're staged or reality, but so far they're all reality, and pretty much that's probably what they will be. I can't think of why I would stage a video except for maybe to do an example of how a spell would go. But so far I haven't done anything like that. So, do I think there is an element of censorship in online spaces, and how do I decipher what is appropriate to share online versus what do I keep privately? Okay, so I'm going to start answering these while I go. Do I think there is an element of censorship in online spaces? Um, Probably. I mean, there is probably some things that people don't want to share about their practice. I feel like in witchcraft there is secrecy, and that is part of some people's practice. Is that secrecy? That secrecy is part of an element in their practice, and there's nothing wrong with that. So they censor some of that in their videos, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. How do I decipher what is appropriate to share online versus what do I keep privately? So for me, so far, it will be just what I feel like, that I feel like I'm being told to share. That will be what I share. And then, I mean, I don't know what I would keep privately, but I'm sure there probably will be some things maybe that I keep privately. Maybe like names of people that I'm going to be talking about, because I'm going to talk about some of my history, sexual abuse, things like that, and I probably won't share names of people. Is this based on social media etiquette or a personal preference? So it would probably be just a personal preference. I really don't know what social media etiquette is. I'm still kind of, I haven't spent my whole life on social media like some people have. So it's still a learning process for me. So, have I ever encountered or heard of grifters in our community, and do I recognize them? What are the significant signs of grifters in the community? So, from what I understand, I think a grifter is just someone that just comes in and does like especially like on TikTok that oh, I have a message for you. If you send me $100, I'll give you this special message. And I've gotten emails on that before too. And I use my discernment. I have a really strong spirit of discernment that I've had my whole life, and so it's pretty strong, and I recognize it, and I know what I'm looking for. So I use that. And so, what are the significant signs of grifters? It's mostly people that are like, like that, you getting messages like that, are just, saying that they have a message for you and to send them some money. I'm not saying that that can't work. I mean, because I think that spirit can speak to you through anything and in any way. I just feel like that can get dangerous in the sense that you can start handing over money to a person that's not really looking out for what's best for you. And if you're going to give money to a tarot reader or someone that connects to spirit and you feel like they have a message for you, make sure it's someone that you have connected with and that you've talked with and that you have developed some kind of relationship with them or feel like you're connected to them in some way. So that way there's this developed thing where they're looking out for what's best for you. Okay. What tools are helpful to decipher misinformation, and how can we as a community prevent widespread misinformation? So I think discernment is a big tool, but also looking up history on people, looking up what maybe some things on social media, some people have put out some information about that person that's done some things that are wrong, things like that. And I think that as a community, that's the best thing is by information, by us all sharing when there's someone out there that's doing some things that are, not okay, um, predatory kind of stuff. I think that's what we all need to do is watch out for each other. And I feel like information, knowledge, you know, the more you educate yourself is huge. Okay. And then, yeah, just I feel like knowledge and education is really huge too. Educating yourself it helps with that a lot. So how does a large following impact the percentage of the creator? I don't really know much about all this, so I don't know. Does this immediately make them an expert? No, I think just because you have a large following doesn't make you an expert. I don't know that just because, okay, so just because a church has a lot of people in it, does that make that guy a godly man? No, no, he can be just as out there doing things that are just as awful as the other person's. So just because you have a bunch of people that follow you doesn't mean that you have all the knowledge in the world, or an expert. I don't think anybody's an expert, actually. I feel like there are some people that know more than others. But as far as an expert goes, I feel like life is a journey that you're continuously learning and learning and learning. And there's a part of understanding that there isn't an end to that. There's always a process of learning. That expertise, I mean, yes, you can become really good at what you do, but I really don't think that there's an expert at things. I don't know. That's just my take on that. Or are there other assumptions as to why they may have a large following? And I'm sure there is. I'm sure that that some people just follow people because they're good looking. That's a thing. That is a thing. That there's better looking people get more followings. Um, you know, there's people that post more videos. They get more followings because they're online more and they post more videos, so they're out there more. And so, uh, I but that's just part of all of this. So, how does one maintain the balance of authenticity and content creation? So I really think that authenticity comes from the heart, and that if you're willing to be open and to share, that you're going to be authentic. And I know that there are some people that aren't looking to be authentic. They're just looking to create content. And I mean, there's a space for everybody. And I'm not going to bag on them for that. But part of a practice of being a witch is being authentic. And so just because the witchcraft community is growing, there is going to be people out there that are just going to create content because they see that it is a community that is growing and that there are a lot of people that are looking for that kind of content. And so it's important for you, like I said earlier, to decipher for that for yourself, to educate yourself, and to make sure that you're not being misled by people that are just out to make content just for content's sake. If that's not what you're looking for. Topic number 3, imposter syndrome and FOMO. When I follow other creators in the community space, does it make me feel genuinely inspired and empowered, or does it create feelings of FOMO or being less than? No, when I follow other creators in the community, I feel empowered and inspired. I don't feel less than, really, because I know where I am and I know where I stand. I know who I am, And so that I don't feel like I need to compete with anybody because I know who I am and I know what I have to offer. And so just watching other people's videos just inspire me to do more and to get out there and to put myself out there. Because this is scary to put yourself out there on video. It's scary. So if I experience FOMO, has it ever left me feeling vulnerable to be taken advantage of financially or otherwise? So I really don't experience FOMO. I just get inspired. An example would be the need to purchase the latest popular product or book to fit in. So no, I don't. I don't ever feel like I need to purchase a product or a book to fit in. If I can't afford it and I don't feel like it's necessary, then I just don't purchase it. You guys should see my Athame. It's just an old steak knife that I blessed. So it's nothing fancy, but it's useful and it works for me. So when practicing my craft, do I find myself comparing what I do to what I've been seeing people do online? Um, I might compare myself in the sense that, like, should I be doing more of this to help to draw in numbers? Because I do think about that, and I'm new and I already think about that, so that concerns me. Um, but so there are times that I'm like, should I be doing this stuff or that stuff? But so there is some of that, yeah, for sure. I'm not perfect. In what ways do I combat imposter syndrome? So I just, like I said earlier, it's just really about discernment for me, and knowledge. Um, and what would my practice look like without the social media influence of other creators? So I feel like it'd be the same, just not as I wouldn't have grown as quickly, because I would have done it through books, and so it takes a little bit longer to get through those books. And I love to read, but I've reading gets a little harder as you get older. It makes me fall asleep easier, and I have to get my glasses on and blah blah blah. So I do a lot of now where audible reading and things like that. Um, so, um, so it would have probably taken me longer to get through it, but so my practice would still be the same, I think. But I don't know. I don't know. That's a hard question to answer because I didn't do it without social media, so I don't know. Topic 4, capitalizing of community. Do I consider online communities as equally valid to in-person communities? Yeah, I do. I think that the community online can be just as helpful and just as wonderful as in person. There is an element of being in person and connecting in person that we do miss out on, and I really feel like that is something important, because your energies connect when you're there in person. Not that they don't connect online, because I really think they do, but there is something about when you enter a room and all of your energies are there in the room and you're connecting and you do some kind of ceremony together as a group and a whole. In a same room, because I've done some online. I've done moon ceremonies online and everything else, and there is just a different feeling of when you do it as in person and when you do it in an online experience. But I don't think that there's anything wrong with one or the other, or that if you're just only doing it online, you only have an online community, that you're doing it wrong. No, not at all. And I really feel like we get to see more practices by having the communities online. A lot of different practices, and man, mine is a mesh of all kinds of practices now, because I like some of this and I like some of that, and I kind of throw things in together. I never identified with Wicca, and who knows, maybe because I wasn't, because of social media, I would have thought that that was the only thing out there, and I don't identify with that really well, and it may have been a hard process to get through. Whereas because I found social media, I found out that that doesn't have anything to do with witchcraft, That's just a form of a group. And if you're Wiccan and you like Wicca, that's great for you. That's awesome. And I think that's awesome. But it doesn't, it's not for everyone. So, how have online occult witchcraft communities impacted me as a person and practitioner? So I think I've kind of already answered that. Um, I'm so sorry, you guys, about this runny nose. Um, so, um, um, so like I said, it really is. It's great to discover different witchcraft communities from all over the world. And I think that is just something great to add to your practice. And that would have been really hard to find here in Oklahoma City. And so it's a great opportunity for me, especially someone who's in the Bible Belt, to be able to go out there and find practices online. But I think there is something about, like I said earlier, um, doing it in person. But it's impacted me as a person and practitioner. So I think I've answered that. I think I've gone over that really well. What are some of the dangers of the current phenomenon of capitalizing off the witchcraft community? Um, I think I've kind of touched on it earlier, like when there's predators out there who are just looking to get money from you and they're not looking out for your best interest. And I truly believe that that's harmful to people. And but there's predators in everything, right? We're humans, so there's predators in just a church community. There's predators in work communities. There's predators. So this is a diverse community, just like in anything else. And so it's about um, deciphering it through your spirit and discerning it, educating yourself, not just taking one thing that's being said to you. I also have a hard time with communities that, and I know some people are going to have a hard time with this, but I'm going to say it anyways, that charge large amounts of money. I When I see someone charge like $5,000 for a class, um, that bothers me so badly, because I really feel like witchcraft is supposed to be something that we share and incorporate and give to communities. And not that I don't think that you shouldn't make money through witchcraft. I don't have a problem with you selling spells and things like that, and tarot readings and all of that. I don't have a problem with you selling classes and all of that. I get it. We all need to make money, and so I get it. But I think there is a limit to that. Um, and I know that you should charge for what you're worth. I don't have a problem with that at all. But I think there also is a point where you are maybe overcharging, in the sense that this should be something that should be offered um, in a way that a lot of people can um, reach, or that you can reach. I don't know how to say that the best way. It makes me nervous to say that even at all, because I know that's going to upset some people, and I'm sorry if I offend you that way. I don't have a problem with people making money online. It's about the amount that they charge sometimes that bothers me. Um, let's see. Have I been personally affected by this, or have I witnessed someone else being affected by this? I have not personally been affected by this. I use my discernment and I keep myself educated a lot. I have seen other people that have done the thing where somebody sent them a email that said, I have a message for you, if you contact me, yada, yada, yada. And they fell into that trap of, oh, you have to break the spirit. And the only way you can break the spirit is by sending me $500. And so I sent them that, and they just kept going with them, and it just never ended. And this person, by the time they were done, that by the time I found them, they had spent over $10,000. And I was just in shock that someone had done that to them. That just broke my heart. And I told them to quit sending them money. That's not okay. That was a trap, and that's a predator, and that's not okay. That's not okay for people to do that. Um, and should there be paywalled communities and online courses? So yeah, I don't have a problem with online courses, and I really think that, you know, we all need to be able to make money somehow, and so I don't have a problem with that. Like if you have a Patreon, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with, I participate in some of the you know joining the communities on YouTube. I've joined some of those myself, and tried to give to those. Um, because I get it. We're all just trying to survive out here. So I have no problems with people making money. It's not that. It's the amount of money and the predatory side of it that bothers me. Um, how does one ensure the authenticity of courses, workshops, memberships, etc., as a financial investment? Education. Also, um, discernment. Also, spend time watching their videos and watching their, shorts and things like that. Seeing if that resonates with you, seeing if that connects with you. Um, Courses. A lot of times you can buy the book of what a person has been writing about. Like I like Jason Miller a lot, and he has a course. And you can buy his book and find out if you like him before you take his course. Mia Magic. I love Mia Magic, and you can buy her book beforehand and see if you resonate with that before you go on there and take one of her courses. So conclusions. Oh man, I'm already like 40 minutes in. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm so long winded. What are topics of conversations I'd like to see more of in our community? Um, I don't know. I would just like to see more of connecting. I would like to see more of like some ceremonies, like us all come together and do some ceremonies online. I think that would be a lot of fun. I would like to do, like a lot more of these hashtag videos. I think these are a lot of fun, and I'd like to participate in them. And I'd like to see more of us all coming together and helping each other's channels grow. I'd like to see that a lot more. Um, so, and what are my community needs? Friends. I need friends. I need a lot of friends. And so I'm always looking for a good witchy friend. So where would I like to be more helped and supported? Um, just, I just need friends. I just would like to be supported in my witchy journey, and I just would like to have friends. Where do I feel like I'm not truly being seen by my community? Um, I I don't feel that way. I feel like the community sees. Um, I mean, I haven't been online long enough to feel that way. So, how can we help each other in removing the external peer pressure and grow in our community? So, I think that a lot of times we need to come in love, um, because there are some people that are doing things on their videos that are incorrect, and they just don't know it. And it's about coming in love and explaining that to them. Sometimes you can come in too harsh and be like, "You shouldn't be doing this," and na 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 na, and that's not helpful. That's not helpful for anybody. If you come in with a, "Hey, I see you do this, and I have some suggestions, and I'd like to help you out if you would be willing to listen." Sometimes they're not willing to listen, and then then that's okay. It's not their time to hear it. But Also, I think on the other end, we all need to be willing to listen and to grow. We're all not perfect. We all should be willing to hear out if we have done something that has been wrong, or that we need to learn better about or know more about. And I think that learning how to take criticism can be helpful. It's not, people aren't always out to get you. And I especially feel like in this community, a lot of people are just trying to help each other out. And I just think some people go about the wrong way. How can we as a community come together with more constructive criticism without seeming shady and passive aggressive? Oh my gosh, I hate passive aggressiveness. So come in love, not passive aggressiveness. There's two different things there. Passive aggressiveness is not coming in love. Don't feel like you're coming in love when you're still being passive aggressive. And I think when you're being passive aggressive. It's not okay. And that's a form of abuse. It's an abusive behavior. And if you are doing that, you need to start doing some search. You need to do some shadow work. How can we as a community do better when we do receive criticism and feedback? Okay, so I just said that. We also need to learn how to, take things and learn from them. It's important. Over my years, I've taken a lot of criticism, and I used to not take it well. It's really hard to hear when you are wrong. I get it. It's hard to hear that. I know. But it's to be able to grow, to be able to know more, to be able to become more mature in your walk and in your journey. You need to be able to learn how to take criticism. That's a very important step. And it's a learning thing. It's a learning step. And it's part of growing. And when you can learn to take criticism, you have grown as a person. Because that is part of growing and maturing as a person, is taking criticism. Because it is very hard to learn. So it's something to practice. And when you do get criticized by something, take a step back. Don't just quickly, have a reaction, but take a step back and say, hey, is there something to this? Not always is there something to it, and that's okay. But if there is something to it, then be willing to listen. There's nothing wrong with listening and hearing. It's good to grow and to learn things. Not everyone is an expert. And if you think that you know more than anyone else out there, then you need to grow. Because you don't. I don't. Nobody does. Everybody can learn something. And if you can take that mindset of that I can always be learning, then that will help you. And don't blast people. Don't blast people. That's terrible. Don't put people on blast. Don't go on and put somebody on blast without trying to speak to them first and try to work things with them and talk to them privately. Don't put them on blast right away. That's not okay. That's not okay. That's not helpful. It doesn't help anybody to do that. What are some community members that I look up to and that are reliable resources and aspirations? So I'm going to really fail at this because there are a lot of people out there that I really like, and I didn't write them down ahead of time. And I'm an old person. I have an old person memory, and I apologize if I have forgotten you. But I'm going to start off with Jason Miller because I spoke about him already. Mia Magic, I spoke about her already. I watched some Hearth Witch videos earlier today, so I really like her. I think she's got a lot of knowledge, and she's been online for quite a while and has a lot to share. Witches of Wonderlust, I think she's really good. She's always educating herself, and so I think she's really good at it. And that's really all I can think of right now, and I apologize for you that I have forgotten, and I will, when I do remember, I will add your name to the bottom of my comments. Please look below and make sure that because I probably have posted some other people that I've forgotten. So I also have found some really amazing people through this hashtag. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I would like to grow, and I would like to be a part of this community more, and I will be a part of this community more. I'll be back with more videos, and I'm going to end it here at 45 minutes. Sorry. Bye, guys.